Today, we're diving into the incredible story of George Soros, a man who went from surviving the Holocaust as a child to becoming one of the most legendary and controversial figures in modern finance and philanthropy. His life is a testament to resilience, intellectual brilliance, and a philosophy that has shaped his every move, from his high-stakes bets on currency markets to his global advocacy for open societies. Before we start, do me a favor and click the like button below. Chapter 1: Surviving the Holocaust. The year is 1930 in Budapest, Hungary. George Soros is born into a wealthy Jewish family. His father, Tivadar, is a brilliant lawyer with a successful practice, while his mother, Erzsébet, is a devoted homemaker and the daughter of a well-respected banker. From an early age, George displays an inquisitive nature and a remarkable ability to absorb information quickly. His parents recognize his exceptional intelligence and nurture his curiosity, providing him with books and encouraging his thirst for knowledge. However, the tranquility of George's childhood would be shattered when the Nazis occupied Hungary in World War II. Suddenly, the family's comfortable existence was threatened by the looming danger posed by the Nazi regime. George's father, Tivadar, realizing the peril that lay ahead, took swift and decisive action to protect his family. With the unwavering determination of a man fighting for his family's survival, he began forging documents that disguised the Jewish identity of his wife and children, effectively transforming them into not. Through his wife's maiden name, they became the Ferenczi family. Tivadar also successfully persuaded his secretary, a Gentile woman named Mrs. Margot, to take young George in if the unthinkable were to happen to the family. As the situation grew increasingly perilous, Tivadar made the agonizing decision to send his son away from Budapest to the countryside in the hopes of keeping him safe. Mrs. Margot, acting on the instructions from Mr. Schwartz, transported the boy to safety in a small town called Kisk. There George was placed in the care of a local family who agreed to hide him until the danger had passed. Mrs. Margot kept in regular contact with George's parents, providing them with updates on his well-being and ensuring that he was well cared for throughout his time in hiding. George, though only a teenager, understood the gravity of the situation. He recognized the risks that he and his family were taking by concealing their identities, and knew that discovery could mean terrible consequences. To protect himself, he created a false identity for himself, assuming the name of a non-Jewish Hungarian man. This disguise became his shield against the encroaching darkness, helping him navigate the perilous landscape of wartime Hungary without drawing unwanted attention. As time went on, the reality of their situation slowly dawned on the young refugee. Despite his best efforts, George couldn't shake off the feeling that he was living on borrowed time. The fear of discovery hung over him like a dark cloud, constantly threatening to engulf his fragile sense of security. In a heart-wrenching turn of events, George received news that his father had been deported, likely to a concentration camp. This devastating blow shook him to his core, intensifying his determination to survive and honor his father's memory. News then arrived that shook George to his core. His father, Tivadar, had been taken away by the Arrow Cross, a Hungarian fascist party aligned with the Nazis. The family clung to hope, but the reality was grim. When the war ended, the full extent of the horrors perpetrated by the Nazis became known, and the fate of Tivadar became tragically clear. Tivadar was sent to the infamous Auschwitz concentration camp, where he perished alongside millions of other Jews. George, upon learning of his father's fate, was devastated. The loss of his father, who had been a beacon of intelligence and strength, left an unfillable void in his life. As the war drew to a close, George's world remained filled with uncertainty. The turmoil of war had robbed him of his innocence and left him profoundly affected by the atrocities he had witnessed. Chapter 2. The School of Thought. After the turbulent events of the Second World War, Gayagi found refuge in England, where he enrolled at the prestigious London School of Economics. It was here that he encountered the works of philosopher Karl Popper, whose ideas would have a profound impact on his worldview. One of Popper's most influential theories was his concept of the open society, a form of government characterized by transparency, accountability, and the free exchange of ideas. This concept resonated deeply with Gayagi, who had first-hand experience with the oppressive nature of totalitarian regimes. He began to view the promotion of open societies as a cause worth dedicating his life to. Another of Popper's theories that greatly influenced Gayagi was the concept of reflexivity. This theory posits that an individual's perceptions and expectations can influence the very events they are trying to understand or predict. However, as the stock rises, new information may enter the market, causing a downward price adjustment. This process of self-referential adjustment is what Popper termed reflexivity. Gayagi grasped the significance of this concept, recognizing its potential applications not only in the realm of finance, but also in politics and society. After completing his studies at LSE, Gayagi changed his name to George Soros, adopting the anglicized version of his first name and his mother's maiden name, Soros, to better integrate into his new environment. With his academic foundation solidified, George ventured into the world of finance, embarking on a career that would eventually lead him to become one of the most successful investors of his generation. Chapter 3. The hedge fund maestro George's foray into the world of finance began with a series of modest yet strategic moves. He started by working at a bank on the prestigious and exclusive European trading floor, gaining valuable insights into the inner workings of the financial industry. Following this, he joined a Wall Street firm, immersing himself in the fast-paced environment of international finance. But it was at these firms that George's brilliance in understanding complex markets truly began to shine through. His ability to analyze intricate market trends and make astute predictions quickly caught the attention of his colleagues and superiors. In 1970, George joined a prominent investment bank as a partner, where his responsibilities extended to managing the firm's London office. By this point, his reputation as a shrewd and insightful investor had already begun to precede him. Despite his professional success, George felt a growing discontent. He sought to break free from the constraints of traditional investment strategies and explore new horizons in the world of finance. This restlessness led him to establish his own hedge fund in 1973. A venture that would eventually be named Soros Fund Management. Here, he could apply his unique insights and unconventional strategies without the limitations imposed by conventional investment practices. George recognized that market prices were not merely objective reflections of underlying values, but were instead shaped by the collective psychology of investors and their expectations. His most famous and profitable trade was made in 1992, an event that would earn him the moniker "the man who broke the Bank of England." At the time, the British government was under pressure to maintain the pound's value within the European exchange rate mechanism, a system designed to stabilize European currencies. However, economic indicators suggested that the pound was significantly overvalued. Instead of conforming to the prevailing sentiment, his prediction proved accurate, resulting in substantial profits for him and his fund. Chapter 4. The philanthropic turn. By the late 1980s, George Soros had established himself as a highly successful hedge fund manager, With his career at its peak, Soros began to contemplate a shift in focus. Driven by a desire to use his considerable resources for broader societal good. This transition was not a sudden impulse, but rather the culmination of a lifelong commitment to philanthropy and a deep-seated belief in the power of education and open societies. The catalyst for this significant change came in 1979, when Soros established the Open Society Foundations, a global network of grant-making organizations dedicated to fostering democracy, human rights, and freedom of information worldwide. One of the most significant areas of focus for Soros's philanthropy has been Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union. Having witnessed firsthand the oppressive realities of totalitarian regimes, Soros was deeply committed to supporting the advancement of democracy and civil society in these regions. He provided crucial funding to pro-democracy movements and organizations that championed human rights and the rule of law. Soros's philanthropic efforts extended far beyond geographical boundaries, encompassing a wide range of issues that aligned with his vision for a more just and equitable world. He made substantial contributions to education, promoting innovative teaching methods and supporting institutions that provided access to quality education for underprivileged communities. Despite the immense scale of his philanthropic endeavors, Soros remained deeply involved in the day-to-day operations of the Open Society Foundations. He personally reviewed grant proposals, ensuring that each initiative aligned with his vision and had a tangible impact on the ground. His hands-on approach was a testament to his dedication and the profound difference he wanted to make through his philanthropy. Chapter 5. A controversial legacy. Over the course of his life, George Soros has amassed a staggering fortune, becoming one of the wealthiest individuals in the world. His investment acumen and keen understanding of global markets have allowed him to capitalize on major economic trends, generating billions of dollars in the process. Despite his immense wealth, Soros remains a highly controversial figure, often drawing criticism for his political views and philanthropic endeavors. Critics of George Soros accuse him of manipulating global markets for his own financial gain. They point to instances where his massive trades have significantly impacted currency values, such as his famous bet against the British pound in 1992, which earned him billions of dollars, but also contributed to economic instability. Some critics even go as far as to label him a globalist, suggesting that he seeks to control economies and governments worldwide. Another contentious aspect of Soros's legacy is his extensive philanthropic work, particularly through his Open Society Foundations. Critics argue that his funding of various social and political causes constitutes a form of soft power, designed to influence governments and shape public opinion in favor of his liberal political agenda. They claim that his support for organizations that promote democracy and human rights is nothing more than a tactic to advance his own interests and undermine national sovereignty. Adding to the controversy surrounding Soros is the persistent anti-Semitic rhetoric directed towards him. Many of the conspiracy theories that implicate Soros in nefarious schemes are rooted in age-old anti-Semitic tropes, portraying him as a sinister figure with malicious intent. These theories often paint him as a puppet master, controlling events from behind the scenes and using his wealth and influence to manipulate global affairs for his own benefit. Despite the controversies that continue to swirl around him, there is no denying the significant impact George Soros has had on the world. His pioneering work in hedge fund management revolutionized the financial industry, and his philanthropic endeavors have improved the lives of countless people around the globe. Whether viewed as a brilliant